60 plus hours. That's what it took me to get all 66 achievements in Ghostwire Tokyo. You might be asking yourself, who in the right mind would do this to himself? Well, me. I took the time to hunt down every creature, collectible, and pieces of my insanity for 100%. So hold on to your butts because this is gonna be wild. Before jumping into Ghostwire Tokyo's achievements, I really want to talk about the story in general. And I'm not really too crazy about it. It's not something to, rave home about or go crazy about. It's pretty basic and doesn't really offer too much in my opinion, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I really like the contrast between Akito and KK. Akito being the main character and KK also kind of being the main character kind of. He's like I think kind of like it's like a buddy cop story pretty much. You have Akito who's like I want to help people and KK who's like I don't care, I'm doing it my way. So pretty much it's good cop bad cop. And so pretty much what happens is that Akito dies in the beginning. KK possesses his body because he's a spirit, and Akito ends up getting supernatural powers from KK. I'm not entirely sure. Don't ask. Meanwhile, Akito goes to see his sister in the hospital, when she finds out that has been kidnapped by the big bad for some odd reason to do a ritual or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Please don't ask me. It's a mixed bag. And I also want to talk about combat. Combat in this game is pretty simple. There's nothing really different about it, and it really doesn't really make the whole game feel different. Obviously, it's supernatural powers and you're using like your fingers or your hands to produce, energy blasts or stuff like that. It's really cool. I like it. But my personal feeling about this is it's not completely new or different. It doesn't really make me feel like the whole there's like different variations of how you use combat in this game. But that's just me. I still think this game's a great game and I'm really excited to do this. So let's get cracking. Let's jump on these achievements and let's go. Starting off pretty simple, and within Ghostwire Tokyo, our main enemies are going to be the visitors. They are basically evil spirits coming to eat the booty. However, I learned a new ability which allows me to snatch their cores, and with that I get my first achievement, Heartbreaker. So we end up going to a hospital where Akito's sister is located at, and some things get wild. Some story stuff goes on, and I'm not really sure. But however, after we leave the hospital, I unlock my next story achievement called Beginnings for completing Chapter 1. Within Ghostwire Tokyo, I run into these things called Tora Gates, which are super helpful and hold beads and talismans, which will help later on in the game. The gates also act as fast travel points, which is super helpful. So after arriving at a Tora Gate and cleansing it, I get the achievement Open a Path. In almost every game, there is some kind of collectible that requires you to search every nook and cranny. Ghostwire Tokyo makes these clear that collecting these relics are extremely important, and I will talk more on that later. After grabbing my first relic, a lion mask that looks really interesting, I got the achievement Treasure Hunter. Not sure what I was doing, but I somehow accidentally opened up photo mode, which granted me the achievement Photographer. The main combat mechanic in Ghostwire Tokyo is spells that I use. These range from wind, fire, and water. When getting the spells, the amount of ammo is very low, and upgrading them is very important. On the map, there are these statues called Jizzo statues, which grants me an increase in ammo for the certain spells. So after skulking around, I got the achievement Roadside Spiritually. In Ghostwire Tokyo, there are animals that you can actually interact with, cats and dogs to be exact. You can pet these animals and they're so cute and cuddly, I just wanted to take one home with me. So after petting my furry friend, I get the achievement Animal Lover. Tipper quarters are the other collectible I must grab. Probably one of the many I have to grab within Ghostwire Tokyo. I have to find them. They're spread around all over the map, which isn't too difficult. You just gotta make sure you keep an eye to look out, scan the area. However, flying on top of the building, I was able to spot one, which I grabbed it, and it gave me the achievement Echoes of the Past. Running around one of the mini shrines in Ghostwire Tokyo, I end up meeting a daddy Tanuki, which gives me a quest to find one of his family members. After running around finding the missing Tanuki, I headed back to the dad Tanuki. I completed the quest and got the achievement Problem Solver. There are these little creatures called yokai, which are spread around the map, and I must track them down to get this item called Magma. Magma are used to unlock upgrades, which I need to actually complete one of the achievements. So after finding a yokai and got the Magma, unlocking the achievement, it's all thanks to yokai. So like I explained before, to defeat these enemies, which are called visitors, I need to rip out these cores. By shoving my hand to these visitors' chests, destroying about 50 cores, I got the achievement Soul Breaker. Throughout the map, I have come across these things called containment cubes. They're basically floating in the air, and pretty much the visitors want to take them away, basically kidnap them, which is pretty weird. So I ended up making my way, and I found some containment cubes which were being kind of like taken over by visitors, and I kicked their booties hard, which gave me the achievement You Wouldn't Steal a Spirit. So let me mention this now. I'm playing Ghostwire Tokyo post DLC, so basically the new DLC that came out before I actually started Ghostwire, which added about I think a couple more achievements. And this next achievement is part of the DLC. So basically there are these stamps around Shibuya. There are basically little pictures of stamps of these killer animals, which are super adorable, and I love it. And so when I was running around inside a building, I found one, I interacted with it, and I got the achievement Welcome to Shibuya. During one of the story missions, I ended up losing KK and my abilities, which was terrible. It made me hate the sewers within Ghostwire Tokyo, and believe me, it was a pain. The whole time I was running from the Resident Evil 8 mommy milkers, and it was awful. She tried to fillet me a couple times, which was scary, and I had to use a gust talisman to throw myself away from her, which kind of helped. However though, it did suspend me within the air for about 10 seconds, which gave me the achievement Walking on Air. So I ended up saving KK, and I get some more story details which I have no clue about. I'm not even going to try to answer or talk about it. But after I get this new super ability called Wire, I end up using it, and I get the achievement Trouble. Sadly, there was 3 achievements I wasn't able to get footage for just due to me not hitting record, which is so annoying, but I'll explain the 2 achievements I got right now. So basically, in Ghostwire Tokyo, the mechanic for blocking is pretty finicky in my opinion. I feel like blocking within Ghostwire is weird, and basically I'm just slow and old probably. That's probably why I just can't use it very much. However, after blocking and actually not taking damage for like the 30th time, I get the achievement Master of Blocking. The next achievement I wasn't able to get footage for is pretty simple. We get this little paper person looking thing called a Katashiro, and it basically allows us to suck in spirits are these blue floating things in the air. You see what I'm talking about. So basically I have to buy pretty much all of them to max out how many spirits I can hold at one time. I think you start at 5 and the most you can get 50, and they're pretty expensive, not gonna lie to you. So I bought some from this floating cat vendor. I know of floating cats, and they were pretty expensive. However, buying them out, I got the achievement Boundless Spirit. So regarding the last achievement, I ended up actually collecting 25% of spirits within Ghostwire Tokyo, which is actually pretty great because there's a bunch of them and they're spread around like crazy. However, after hitting the phone booth and transferring them away, I get the achievement Helping Hand. Not gonna lie, I got this achievement by accident. My girlfriend was showing me baby pictures of her nieces, and I kind of looked away from the screen. I was on top of a building. I don't know what was I doing. I'm not sure why I was on top of the building. But somehow my view was looking at the moon. And for like about 30 seconds or something like that, the achievement pops, Lonely Rescue Me. So I ended up running into some visitors, taking out some containment cubes, which I decided to help and take out those weirdos. And so I ended up seeing this red, like barrel or canister, which we all know means explosion. I ended up shooting the explosion thing, and I got the achievement for taking out 3 or 4 visitors called "Can't Handle the Heat." I'm pretty solid with the bow, even though I'm not a big fan of it. However though, getting 20 headshots on visitors, I got the achievement Go for the Eyes. Basically, all I really had to do was go on a rampage with the bow that I spoke previously about. It wasn't too bad. The bow is actually pretty OP if you upgrade it, the ammo and stuff like that, which is super helpful. But after defeating about 50 visitors, I got the achievement Take a Bow. In Ghostwire Tokyo, it required me to donate 10,000 mica in total to the offering boxes located in shrines. And so after doing that, I got the achievement Pious. I recently spoke about an achievement that required me to transfer 25% of spirits in general throughout the game, in which I did that. But now the next achievement required me to donate or transfer 50% of spirits within the game, which I did, and after I got the achievement Savior. So the next achievement is story related, and it's pretty simple. One of the big bad minions turned into this ugly looking cat, don't ask why, and ends up taking KK away from me, which now I have to rely on my sneaking skills to roll up behind it and pull on its tail to, I guess, take damage? I don't know. However, rescuing KK, looking at another cutscene, and then completing chapter 3, I get the achievement Connections. So this is one of those DLC achievements that were kind of weird, but I found kind of funny. So these little vendors that you put quarters into and you twist the knob. It's kind of when you're a kid. You get the little figurines that you get. They're pretty interesting because they're each different kind of types of visitors in the game, just in a little figure form. However, about 50 times of spinning that wheel and getting in a figure, I get the achievement Figure Aficionado. There are these things called talismans that give unique benefits, like a gust of wind to launch yourself in the air, a bush that allows me to cloak, and a few others. However, after retrieving the last talisman, I got the achievement Talismania. Literally just like the last achievement, I ended up getting the new DLC talismans that were added. And so after grabbing the last one, the achievement popped Unparalleled Talismaniac. About a couple hours into Ghostwire Tokyo, I unlocked an ability called Wire. It's like a damage increase that exposes enemy cores instantly. However, some enemies are immune to it, so keep that in mind. Soon after the 10th time using the ability, I got the achievement NSYNC. This next achievement is another DLC achievement, and basically I had to defeat the newly added enemies. I couldn't tell you which ones are the new ones, but after fighting a few of them, I got the achievement Unexpected Visitors. I mentioned before about collecting spirits, which is incredibly important for a couple of achievements, especially this one. After collecting the spirits and transferring them, I was able to level up a lot, and that got me to level 50 Synergy, after the achievement pop On the Same Wavelength. This next achievement requires us to use the talisman, which is basically spawns a bush for me to hide in. It's super weird and gives me stalkerish vibes. However, doing this 3 times and taking out a visitor in stealth, I was able to get the achievement A Shrubbery. Ever get the feeling that someone's ever watching you? Well, that's me sneaking up behind about 200 visitors and using Quick Purge to take away their innocence. In turn, that gave me the achievement Silent Kill. This next achievement is just like the last one. Basically, you have to use a talisman called the exposure talisman, which basically when you throw it down, it exposes every single visitor that's within the vicinity of the talisman to show its core. Which I did. I ended up doing it a couple times, and I did it to 10 different visitors, which gave me the achievement Left Yourself Open. However, meanwhile, I also did at the same time, getting the achievement One Fell Swoop for pulling 5 cores at one time. I was at a vendor flexing on these cats with all the mica I had, which I ended up dropping a bunch of mica on a few things I needed. However, I ended up spending 1,000,000 mica in total, getting the achievement Big Spender. So with the new DLC, there was a new section added called The School. The school is wild and terrifying as hell. There are several things I had to do in the school, which one part I had this mannequin chasing me around, and every time I looked at the mannequin, then it would stop dead in its tracks. It was like following me if I wasn't looking at it. It was terrifying and I loved it. I thought it was super scary. After finishing the fight with the big boss, I got the achievement Scary Stories to Tell at School.
If you weren't here, nobody would have saved those kids.
So basically, I ended up traveling all over Shibuya in Ghostwire Tokyo, and I was able to get every single spirit. No, not every single spirit, but I got 100% of spirits within Ghostwire. There's like, it goes over 100%, it's super weird, but the achievement just requires us to just get 100%. So after transferring the last bit, I got the achievement Salvation for Everyone. Just like the few other talisman achievements, I had to use the Sten talisman on 10 different visitors, or just 10 visitors in general, and which I did. I defeated them, and I got the achievement Freeze, scumbag. I have to hit a headshot from about 40 meters away. However, I was able to catch the notification, but not the headshot. However, I was granted the achievement Sniper. Magma are these items that drop from yokai, which I use for, upgrading skills. I think I talked about a certain achievement ago about yokai. So after obtaining from defeating yokai and buying some from vendors, I collected about 40, which gave me the achievement with their powers combined. So basically, I found a bunch of tanukis all around the map, and it's pretty funny because each tanuki is like shape-shifted into a different item, but the item has like a little tail. The last one I grabbed, it's like a sign but with a little tail. It's super cute. However, grabbing the last one, I got the achievement Your Tail was Showing. Basically, this next achievement requires me to pull a certain fortune from this little box, like a cylinder that pans out fortunes. I had to save quit a bunch of times because it's hard. It's kind of annoying, but after about several times, I think about 20 minutes into it, I was able to get the fortune I wanted, which dropped me down to 1 HP, which was kind of weird. However, I got the achievement Don't Worry About It. I talk about Jizzle statues in the beginning because it's one of the first achievements I actually got. But basically, I found all of them. I found all of them, which was pretty great. It wasn't too difficult, actually. It was super simple. The only one I couldn't find was at the very end of the map. It was weird. However, after grabbing the last one, I was able to get the achievement Pilgrim. There's this giant lady with these big scissors that basically wanted to take advantage of me. She has an ability to separate Akito and KK apart, and it's a nightmare when that happens. However, after running back to the homie KK, I got the achievement Better Together. At this point in the game, I basically have been everywhere and cleansed a bunch of Tora gates, including DLC gates. And after cleansing the last one, I got the achievement Liberator. However, I wasn't recording at the time, but I also got further liberation for getting the DLC Tora gates as well. I want to be honest with you guys, Ghostwire's quests aren't that crazy good. They're basically the same thing almost over and over again. I mean, there is a variation, but not as much as I would like. However though, after completing the last one, excluding the DLC content, I got the achievement Wishmaker. There is an achievement revolving around this DLC content requiring me to find these photos in KK's apartment and go to this area in the photos to cleanse the spirits. I guess the spirits left over from the photos, I'm not entirely sure. However, getting the last one, I got the achievement Spirit Photographer. Around the map, there are points of interest that are called landmarks. So after basically sprinting and gliding all over the map, I found the last landmark, granting me Shibuya is my backyard. Unlocking all the skills, excluding the DLC ones, are painful. The achievement was kind of bad, especially because you hit a level cap and must collect KK's investigation notes, which you get 20 extra points for each one. After obtaining the remaining skill points and redeeming them, I get the achievement Mind and Body. Collecting all the relics in Ghostwire Tokyo is the absolute worst, especially since finding it is a bit of a scavenger's wet dream. I mean, if you plan on looking behind every nook and cranny, be my guest. However, after much headache and mind-numbing searching, I found the last relic, getting the achievement Collector. So basically within Ghostwire Tokyo, I have to find all these different kinds of food which actually help with like my healing, or they add certain bonuses like damage or healing, which is kind of cool, but there's a ton of food to collect. However, I found the food that I was missing and I got the achievement Gourmand. Pretty much all I had to do is buy all the clothes, excluding the DLC content, which some of the clothes are unlocked by playing through the story, which is kind of a pain, but it's okay. However, getting the last piece of clothing, I was able to get the achievement Trendsetter. This next achievement is a story-related achievement. All I had to do was fix up a motorcycle, which would help me get through the fog surrounding Shibuya. And so I did that, completed chapter 4, and got the achievement Contortion. I spoke about this achievement in the beginning. It's about grabbing the voice logs, which there are a couple, there's about a handful of them, which isn't too bad. Which after grabbing the last one, I got the achievement The Whole Truth. Just like the other achievement regarding getting all the skills, I had to get the rest of the skills for the DLC content. So I had to grab the last remaining KK's investigation notes, which I unlocked the rest of the skills, and I got the achievement On the Job Training. Rushing to find Hana, the big bad, standing over Akito's sister. They had a brief conversation, and Akito kinda loses confidence in himself. However, KK basically calls him a little B-word and tells him to get moving. So after a quick fight with his undead self, which KK's undead self, which is super weird, I defeated the brute, chased after Hana, which gave me the achievement Severance for completing chapter 5. There are a bunch of visitors in Ghostwire Tokyo, and I must spank every one of them. The final one I need to complete my spanking collection is to beat the final boss. The final boss is pretty easy, especially when I'm maxed out in everything. So after defeating the final boss, I got the achievement Visiting Hours Are Over. Defeating the last boss and saying goodbye to Akito's sister and KK, the credits hit, and after, the achievement pops Binding for completing chapter 6. After completing the main game, the achievement pops Conclusions. I mentioned early on that I ended up collecting 100% spirits before beating the game. So after beating the game, I got the achievement Hero of Shibuya. There are these things called prayer beads that basically act like modifiers for certain things, like damage for example. After completing the game, I got the last set, which the achievement pop Power Overwhelming. Basically collect all music tracks, which isn't too hard to find. They're all from vendors that you can buy from, the little floating cats at stalls. That's where you need to go. So after beating the game, I got the last track, which gave me DJ Akito. The last couple of achievements I want to talk about are going to be surrounded in the spider thread mode. Basically, it's a dungeon like crawler, which you have to go through certain levels to get to the tippy top. There's about 30 which you have to complete to get to the very end to defeat the spider boss. However, I do recommend, it's going to be a single tip because I can go over hundreds and hundreds of different things to do for this, but I think it's be easier for me to tell you the one thing that helped me out a lot is that to max out your level. Once you max out your level, you can get the iron beads. The iron beads make everything one shot. However, it makes you one shot. But don't worry, I have used the iron beads my entire playthrough, so it's super easy. Don't worry, just do that first. So after getting the beads, I was able to crawl to the top and take on the spider boss. After defeating it and watching the credits roll, I get the achievement View from Abyss. Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it to the very last achievement. And this last achievement is kind of simple. So basically, you have to complete a bunch of tasks within the spider's thread. Basically, you have to collect yokai, you have to defeat a number of certain amount of enemies, which is not too difficult, but some do range from the task of like beating certain levels without dying or stuff like that. I'm just telling you, like I said in the last achievement, get the iron beads. It's going to make this whole thing so easy. So, after turning in the last two tasks, I got the achievement Catalog Conqueror. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching to the very end. I know I've been missing out, I'm so sorry, I'm coming back. I just been so busy, school is getting busy, I'm getting busy. I'm in my final couple of semesters in college, which is amazing. I just want to say thank you so much for being patient with me. Please like, sub, and comment your favorite video game. Let me know what game you want me to play next. I'm looking forward to uploading more, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys. So have a good night or day wherever you're at, and I hope you all take care. Stay safe. Love you all. Peace out.